On this episode, Richard Rawlings stops by and we chop it up for real. Hey everybody, this is Gary Vaynerchuk, and this is episode 267 of the Ask Gary V show. That's 10-7.
Got it.
I have a wonderful guest. We just finally got to meet in real life. His energy is legit. I'm excited for you, my friend. R squared, as I'm going to call you.
Yes.
Why don't you tell the Vayner Nation who you are, what you're about, and what you've got going on? Facebook, put in your phone numbers. We're going to be able to do some chatting here and answering some questions, but I'll allow you, my friend, to first set the table.
I'm very humbled and very blessed to be building cars and drinking beer for a living. I might be the smartest guy in the world, actually. I just play with cars and drink beer.
Sounds pretty fucking smart to me. You actually might be the smartest guy in the world. Richard, why don't you tell everybody who you are?
Gas Monkey Garage out of Dallas, Texas. We're featured on Fast and Loud on Discovery every single week, actually. And I've got a couple more shows on Discovery, Misfit Garage, Demolition Theater, and the new show, Garage Rehab, which started 3 weeks ago. So they keep me pretty busy.
Yeah, how did this all happen? Take me way back. Where were you born?
You know, I was born in Fort Worth, and I was a poor white child.
Yep.
And
I get it.
But no, I've had three kind of lives, if you will. I was a police officer, firefighter, and paramedic before I was old enough to drink.
Interesting.
Yes. And so I did that until my mid-20s, and I broke out of that and got into advertising and printing. And built a very large company that is still there today. I'm very proud of it. But I sold it and had just enough seed money.
What was the name of that?
Lincoln Press in Dallas, Texas. Nice. And jumped into cars and motorcycles. I watched all the other shows that were on TV at the time, and they were very bravado, very kicking boxes and cussing. So I was a victim of this myself. I watched the shows, but my wife and my kids at the time wouldn't watch it because it was too tough guy, whatever. And I was like, there's got to be a way to breathe.
Dickhead.
Yeah, I don't want to say that.
Respect.
Because I know
I'll say
these
it for you.
I know these guys.
Right.
But
they might be pumped. I'm pumped when people call me a dickhead in the right context, Kendall.
Yes. It's like exactly. But so I watched it and I was like, they're missing it. They don't get the kids. They don't get everything. So I'm still a tattooed, goateed guy. And what have you. I just I have a pizza slice tattooed on me and I got a poodle, you know, instead of a pit bull and a bandana.
I get it.
You know.
And so that's how it kind of went down. So, like, what happened? Like, how did it actually happen? Like, how did the first show happen?
Where I sit today, sitting with you, which is very awesome, by the way.
Thank you, brother.
Is a plan I wrote in 2004, like a flow chart. Yes, and I was like, I studied the guys. No, I don't have it with me, but I have it.
No, do you actually have the flow chart?
Yes.
That's fucking rad.
I have it at the house, and I wrote it out, and I was like, I studied them. I was like, who's their producer, who's their network, who's their manager, who's their agent, who's their everything. And I chased it down until I found the dream team. And as soon as I found that, I went after them. And it took 8 years of knocking the door
of those individuals.
Yes.
And you're like, these are the puppet masters behind the scenes. Let me show them my charisma and ability, and eventually they'll understand that I'm a star and this will happen.
Well, yes. I mean,
listen. By the way, do you know that that's basically exactly the same thing I've done with only one difference, which was I thought the way to do that was direct to consumer through social media because I didn't want to convince the dream team. Yes. I was like, fuck the dream team. I'm just going to go to the people in a different format.
Correct.
But they both work.
No, they do. It took a long time, and then when I sold subsequent shows, it was very great. When I sold Garage Rehab about a year and a half ago, I was like, you're the same imbeciles that passed on Fast and Loud for 5 years. And now you think you're geniuses. And you're going to give me another show.
Of course. That's awesome. I mean, that's the way it works.
Yes.
So what kind of kid were you?
I was kind of the geeky kid. I was a late bloomer. I didn't have too much luck with the chicks or anything like that. And
which is stunning because you're super fucking handsome.
Yeah, well, like I tell them now, I didn't waste my cool in high school.
Got it. So now you're using it now. So like were you introverted?
Yeah, I was a little quiet. A little bit. And,
Maybe
and I
introverted
did
girls, but not with guys.
Yeah,
yeah. That's a model.
Yeah, I was kind of the guy that was always goofing off and doing stupid shit to get attention.
Were you a bad student or a good student?
Horrible student.
Horrible.
I think I only got out of high school because they didn't want me to come back.
Well, that's what happened with me. They pushed me through the system.
Yes.
I didn't open a single book all 4 years of my high school career. Never did one piece of homework. They just push you through the system.
Yeah, I failed out of, I think it was junior year, and they put me in my parents put me in a private school.
Oh, got it.
Like a private Christian school.
Yes.
And
the Lord helped you pass?
Yes, he
Good.
did. And I was doing really, really well. And everything was great. And then I heard my parents talking one night when they didn't think I was listening. They were like, he's doing so good, we'll just leave him there. So the next day I went and did donuts with my motorcycle on the basketball floor. And they were like, okay, you're kicked out. So I went back to public.
I love it.
I'm actually having my 30-year high school reunion next weekend at my shop.
Are you really?
Yeah,
That's
I'm going to
cool.
have we had a big class. We had I don't know, like 680 something students in my senior
a regional,
class.
right? Which means some of your buddies were like 25 minutes away kind of thing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got 200
No,
or
but
300.
don't say, oh, yeah. Like, I grew up in a rural part of Jersey. Like, most people don't realize, like, a lot of people don't realize there's high schools that are pretty regional where, like, your friend can literally be 45 minutes away.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You didn't have that, Ben Ruby. Franklin Lakes, everybody was close. 6 minutes here, 9 minutes there, 8 minutes there. Seth? Queens. Fucking 2 minutes here, 1 minute there.
Oh, yeah.
D-Rock? Homeschooled, right? I forgot.
Homeschooled.
You're homeschooled too?
No.
You just believe in homeschooling. Respect. All right, entrepreneurs, peeps, start dialing your phone numbers. We're going to call you in a minute. So what made you attracted to what I was doing? Why did I hit your radar? Is it entrepreneurship? Is it the personal brand, the marketing, the social kind of? How did we get here?
It's
because I was
actually a
flattered
little
when
bit
you
of
guys reached
everything.
out. And I did a little homework. I already knew a little bit, but I was like, oh yeah, this would be fun.
It's actually a little bit of everything because the way you present yourself is very similar to the way that I do, just in a different industry. You're in wine and media, and then I'm in TV and media. So I was I'm
That was
like
a
I said,
connection
I'm very
point.
humbled to be here. This is fucking awesome.
I appreciate it. And so how entrepreneurial do you think you are?
All the way. I've been that way my
Purebred.
whole life. I've been buying and
how old are
selling. They're 48.
Great. So like when you and I
was
grew
gonna
up,
say 30.
I saw, which was amazing. You saw it, right? He was like 30. I was like, you went from
40.
looking bad to looking amazing.
Yeah,
You were like
48.
30. When you and I grew up, the word didn't exist. Maybe the word businessman, but like did you even know you were that person? Because I did and I didn't.
No, not at all. I mean, when I grew up, my dad had 3 jobs my whole life growing up. He had a paper route in the morning, a paper route in the evening. He was a produce manager, and then he had a side job. So we grew up, kind of on the wrong side of the tracks, but. So that made me hungry, and I always bought and sold cars and motorcycles and bicycles and what have you. I mean,
Real quick, what's the best flip you've ever had?
The best one?
Yeah, like the biggest ROI. Like I bought this bike at a garage sale for $40 and I sold it for $6,900.
No, I didn't have one like that.
Well, I get it. I mean, I made that up. But like, give me a real fucking good one.
I found a Ferrari 348 Spider in a guy's garage. And was able to flip that. I bought it from him for $20,000 because it didn't run, and I was able to flip it for $113,000.
That was better than the example I gave. He's like, no. Like I was like, and how much work or things did you have to put into it?
I put fresh gas in it and started up.
Straight up.
Yeah, with fresh gas and a battery, we were good to go.
By the way, I could so get caught on that because I don't understand cars. Like, by the way, that's really interesting. So. I don't know if you know this, but like all these tchotchkes, like so many people that watch me, I pushed them to this 2017 Flip Challenge. And it's interesting. I know pop culture, so I'm good at like buying like advertising or TV stuff, buying it, knowing it's undervalued. But so many of the people that watch me have a little bit more handy skills like you did. Maybe not for bikes and cars, but like whether it's electronics or things of that nature. And hearing people on Twitter and email and DMing me on Instagram of like, I bought this, it didn't work. It took me 1 minute. It was the battery. It was this, and I flipped it for that. It's amazing when you have a skill set to use that as an arbitrage.
No, it's really cool, and I get to do what I love the most. Now I've done it all my life on the side, but now it's a full-time job. It's really amazing because I hit the, Craigslist and the interwebs and eBay and what have you, and I just buy it and go.
I love it. Let's get our first call, Rich.
Here we go.
John?
John Millinois.
John from Illinois. We think.
Oh.
We think. We're about to find out.
I hope he says I'm a douchebag.
Hi, this is John.
John, this is Gary Vaynerchuk, and you're on the Ask Gary Vee show.
Oh my God!
My wife is freaking out because I said Gary's going to call me,
and she said, "There's no way Gary Vaynerchuk's going to call you. She just saw you in Salt Lake."
I love you back.
Send pictures.
John, thanks for being on the show. What you got a question for Rich or I?
Yeah, I do. It was about creativity. I'm a creative myself, and I was wondering, when he's purchasing these cars, and this goes for you too, Gary. When you're purchasing the cars and you're actually fixing them up, how much creativity is going into these builds, and you're thinking about the end user versus you just putting your creative spin on stuff and then hoping the market buys it?
It's really 100%. I think about where the market's going, what the market wants, because no matter what the car is, I mean, you can look across New York right now, and there could be four-door Novas and piece of crap Continentals and what have you. But every car has what I call its voice. And so what I literally do when I buy a car, and people that work for me are like, "You're still doing it." I literally park it in the middle of the garage, and I drink a couple of beers, and I just kind of stare at it for a minute, and I just kind of let it tell me what it wants to be. It could be a hot rod, it could be a restoration, it could be a resto mod, it could be, just thrown in the trash. And that's kind of how I judge it. But I use a lot of what's going on in the marketplace to make a decision, because at the end of the day, I can only put in so many dollars and try to sell it for so much dollars.
John,
Right.
from my standpoint, it's at a macro. Every day at a macro, I care about what the end consumer gives a shit about. When I get to the execution of something, it's a little bit more micro. It's a little bit more about me. I know that mobile video matters at a macro, right? But when I make the content, it's about what's artistic and creative for me to make. I'm just understanding what the pillars of conversation in culture and the places they consume that content are. And so at a macro them, at a micro me.
That's basically what I said, except with cars.
That's exactly right. It's true. It's true. It's true.
Hey, Gary,
Yes.
let me ask you, just going a little deeper. I've seen the last couple of episodes. It seems like there's some clients that might need some extra convincing. You know where they should be, but they're being resistant on stuff.
Yeah.
How do you overcome those objections? You're not just. How do you convince them? Are you using other case studies of other clients?
I don't try to convince them. I try to put pressure on them for the "I told you so" moment 3 years from now. Really, I mean this, and you've heard me say this. I can tell by your context on me. Like, I don't try to sell them. I put pressure on them and give them my best at bat. But once I feel like the vibe's not there, like, I kind of just move on. Really, I do. I just leave with a parting gift and all my POVs, so that in 3 years, Rich said it here already earlier in the show, I don't know if you've been watching, like, you know how delicious it is for him to sit in front of TV executives that have passed on him in the past? Like, there's nothing better than a chip. For me, telling somebody that Instagram influencers is the right thing and Facebook long-form video is the right thing, and seeing them in 4 years when they have a lower title at a different organization because they were stupid, and me ragging on them, yet feeling bad, so giving them love, because I never want anybody to be pain. But I love being historically correct, so I just put full pressure of my best at bat, and if I hit, I hit, and if not, I'm going to hit later. All right, we put him into a silence. Like, he was so mesmerized that
He's like the serious movement.
Let's go to the next question. That was amazing. Who do we have?
Anthony from Indianapolis.
Anthony.
Indianapolis, Illinois. We're going middle America here. Love it. Flyovers. Anthony?
Hello, it's Anthony.
Anthony, this is Gary Vaynerchuk.
No shit. What's up, Gary?
Things are good, my friend. You're on with Rich.
What's up?
Hey, what's happening, guys?
Doing well, my friend. What can we answer for you?
Well, actually, I just had a question. I guess it points to like the honey empire. That's the thing that kind of crossed my mind today with all the scaling you're doing, and how does it? I guess.
How does it work?
What am I trying to think of? I guess how do you help the new people understand that you're not bullshitting them when you say we are building a honey empire?
Understood. Richard, when you've built your companies and your things, how do you maintain culture? How big did the agency get when you were there, or how many people are now around you, both on the media side or the shop? Like, where are you at, people?
We have a gigantic team, and as far as keeping the culture alive and what have you, it's just being true, just being who you are and staying through it. I've met so many people through this journey that's going, he's a fucking asshole. I hate this guy. Yep. And within, a few months of working with me, they're like, he's really
the
cool
best.
guy. He's
well,
a good,
you know,
great guy.
the good model when people struggle with the upfront bravado and confidence is that you get extra credit for being a good person. I get more credit for doing things that everybody else does because on first glance at times, if I'm in my most peacocking and most kind of me mode, it doesn't feel like I would deliver on that caring, right? And so to answer your question, it's about scaling the unscalable. It's about actually spending time with them. So you may know or have heard, I've been yapping lately about 15-minute mandatory meetings with me every 6 months next year instead of the open door policy.
Sweet.
So how do I do it? By the truth and my actions, and by creating interactions that allow them to get more comfortable with engaging with me. I have a real problem right now because I'm growing in awareness and popularity, which is creating more cynicism internally than even just being the CEO. I'm not only the CEO, more and more every day I'm a CEO that other people know about in the world, which creates a double barrier that I have to get through. So I have to go more extreme, and I'm just going to scale the unscalable and force serendipity. For example, the 15 minutes with every employee, already I'm starting to run the math. I'm like, how am I going to do that? So I'm already like, or should I do 3-person dinners? I'm just hacking. I'm hacking. I'm going to really hack. Yeah. But to your point, the answer is trying.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
try. Gotta get after it. I'm actually nervous here because I'm passing the 15-minute mark right now.
No, we're good. We're good. We're good. Thanks for calling, brother. All right, let's keep it going. Who are the closest people you've worked with in your career?
My best friend Dennis Collins owns a Jeep restoration and dealership in Wiley, Texas, just up the street. So he has been like my mentor and my homie and what have you. And then as far as with the film stuff and everything, Craig Pelagian owns Pilgrim Televisions, and he has taught me things that I'd never even understood or even thought to
think, right?
Never even thought it was a thing.
That's super interesting to me. I've been thinking a lot about that. Like how many things none of us even know are things.
No,
you want to hear something?
The guy's literally a billionaire, and I didn't even know that was a thing.
Do you know that when I was 30 years old, I didn't even know there was such thing as an advertising agency? I did all my own stuff at Wine Library. I just thought businesses did it themselves. I legitimately didn't know Madison Avenue. I didn't watch Mad Men. I didn't know there were agencies. At 30. Because I was in my own cocoon.
A little late bloomer.
Very much so. Introverted with the ladies.
The Google subscriber you have called is not available.
All right, next. While that's happening, talk to me about your social media journey. Where you at? How, being a TV guy, a lot of, listen, I'm in TV land all the time. There's a lot of, this is a nice to have, not the main thing. How intuitive it does come to you. Do you not like it? Do you love it? What's your favorite one? What do you hate? Talk to me.
What? Being in TV, when I first got the TV show, one of the smartest things I did was I hired about 3 people to run my social media.
Yes.
If you will.
Yes.
And now it's grown to a team of about 8.
Yes.
And we do it all day, every day. She's standing right there filming. And, I think that is the key to our success because we could have had a good show, but we really carry it forward on social media side of things. We've got, I don't know, somewhere close to 15 million influence.
Hello, this is Gary Vaynerchuk, and you're on the Ask Gary V show. What's up?
Oh my gosh! Hey Gary, how are you?
I'm super well. Say hello to Rich. Do you go by Richard or Rich?
I go by Richard.
Only, right? Yeah. I just saw your face. Sorry about that. Next time, correct me.
They used to call me Little Richard. Now they call me Big Dick.
What's your name? Sarah, how are you?
Doing well, thanks.
Where are you from?
Well, I'm from Pennsylvania actually, and I'm living in Richmond, Virginia now.
Very nice. Well, what's your question, darling?
Okay, my question is, I now run 3 businesses, just started a few years ago, background is corporate America. I am a CPA, so I have a great CPA business. I'm a mortgage lender, so I kind of branched off into that. And I run a pretty successful network marketing business. So my question is, I'm kind of got 3 different things going on, and I'm trying to figure out how to market myself and really not confuse my potential prospects or my potential customers because I'm doing 3 different things.
Understood. Richard, thoughts on that?
Well, most of them come to really bad things, but I'll start with this. If you're doing 3 different businesses in 3 different areas of expertise, then you don't want to, overexpose yourself. So you need to pick the one that's your strongest business, the one that you want to build the most, and stick to that, and let the other 2 lie by, and they'll grow exponentially as you grow with your main one.
So you're a believer that if she has 100% of energy, I want to make sure I heard you correctly. Your point of view is she needs to spend 80% on one and 10 on the others? Just if you were to use math, because I really want to understand what your point of view was.
That's really my thought process. Is she's
because,
worried
by the
about
way,
overexposure.
there's no wrong answer here.
She's worried about overexposure. So
I am.
Pick the one that you really want to build, or you think is the most buildable, and then let the other ones come along.
Are you worried about overexposure, or are you worried about confusion in the marketplace?
I'm more worried, I think, about confusion because
Yeah, that's what I
use social
figured.
media.
Sure.
I use social media a lot. I've grown all 3 businesses using social media, so I think I might be
Hey, that
confusing
social media
people.
thing might actually work, huh?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah, just put media after your name, and you're good to go. You can do anything.
That's exactly right. I think there's an interesting conversation here. So a couple things. Number one, I'm a believer that if you're just you as a human, it becomes the North Star to all these things. Like, I have permission to sell wine to my business people, and I have permission to give business advice to my wine fans. So I'm actually not worried about you confusing. I think your issue at hand is network marketing has a interesting context in our society that could affect you in the other 2 businesses, and I think that's your bigger issue.
Absolutely.
The end. And you know that, and I think that the other issue is that the network marketing part can be quite lucrative in the short term. And so it's not allowing you to fully go there because you're worried about the negative connotation towards your other 2 businesses by being in MLM or network marketing, yet you don't want to give it up because it's quite fruitful for very little energy in reality from an ROI standpoint. So you're in a little bit of a pickle.
You're spot on, Gary. Yep.
Oh, I know I am. And that's why I went there. And that's why I went there without knowing anything else but the things you said. And I did that because I wanted my audience to see that I could be spot on because I know that. And so I think the biggest thing you need to figure out are 2 core things. 1, what do you love the most? 2, how do you think about your legacy after the money part is not as important?
That's right.
So I would sleep on that.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to both
Bye-bye.
of you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bam.
It is a little bit of a bam. Let's go to the next one. Next call. It's interesting. I'm how do you think about legacy?
I'm just, I guess, becoming
Aware of it?
aware or successful enough that I can start thinking about what's going to be left when I go away.
Yeah.
And I take great pride. In Gas Monkey as a brand and as a whole, and
It's a real thing.
There in our life, there's only been 4 or 5 of us, that have reached this level, and I really hope that Gas Monkey will stay around and be around for many years after I'm gone.
Good for you, man. Let's do one more.
Dennis from New Hampshire.
Dennis.
New Hampshire's.
It's Dennis.
Hey, Dennis, it's Gary Vaynerchuk, and you're in the Ask Gary V show with Richard.
Get the heck out.
No,
yes,
really.
sir.
Okay, fine. We're leaving.
We're leaving. We're going to hang up now. Thanks for calling. Thanks for trying.
Don't go.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for calling, guys.
No worries. What's up, my friend? What can we answer for you?
Well, a couple questions. Richard and I, we cross paths all the time, different places, Barrett Jackson, New Hampshire Motor Speedway this last weekend.
Yes, sir. I drove the pace car.
You drove the pace car. I took my picture with your pace car, and you liked it, and some of your media people liked it.
Very nice.
Which leads
That
me to the
girl's doing
question.
her job.
Good shit.
One thing, I'm checking the winning list right now because my goal for this year was to get Richard to know my name, which is easy because
Check.
Dennis Collins is his best friend, so
Dennis.
we'll check that off. But the serious question is, and a lot of people don't realize this. Richard really is a car guy, not just a TV personality.
Yep.
And when I'm trying to build my social media, I'm a car guy, not a tech guy.
Yep.
So I watch you, Gary, and listen to as much as I can and try to translate that. But how do I get my social media next? Like, I feel like I'm like that one tweet or that one Instagram post away from blowing it up.
You are.
No, everybody is. I mean, it's that simple.
Everybody
I mean,
that's good enough is, right?
Yes.
And so you're right. Let's stick here for a second. I apologize, Richard, but this is my favorite topic. You are, bro. So now my question.
Yeah.
How many pieces of content are you putting out every day? Tell me the truth, because we're going to look it up. And if you lie, Richard's going to hate you.
No, I won't
I
lie.
have it right now. I'm posting that.
Not enough.
No,
to be
not
honest with
enough's
you.
not an answer, bro. I want a number.
5, 6.
Right. And how many of them are just written words on a tweet? Like how many real pieces of content, not a couple of words on a tweet?
Most of them are. I don't do much with Twitter, to be honest.
Respect.
Most of it's Instagram and Facebook.
Yep.
And most of it will be pictures of a car that I'm selling, sold, or an experience like this weekend at the track with NASCAR.
So let's think about what Richard did on TV, which was showed other aspects besides just the cars, which in essence are right hooks. And when you look at the Instagram and things of that nature, I see you're looking at, I'm looking at your Facebook right now. I'm going to try to get to your Instagram. Thank you, D-Rock. Way to be on your stuff. The thing, look, the thing that's happening here. So for example, you were so pumped that Richard replied on your Instagram. And he wrote, by the way, this is very exciting for me. He goes, "Love Gary V" is what he replied, or his team, by the way, respect. That was your post. So when I'm looking at, look, the post I like is the post of your dog, right? Right, with Gus.
Yeah.
That's an important post to me. The post of you with, oh my God, are you a Patriots fan, bro?
Yes, Gary.
Is that for
Okay.
real?
Yes,
Is that
he's wearing a
going down?
Boston Red Sox hat, which
Do
I
we
like
hang up
actually.
now or
No,
not?
we don't hang up. We
Okay.
hang on. So here's what I would say, man. Couple things when I'm looking at it right now. One, show a couple of different things. Don't make your content. I know that you're an automotive consultant. Don't make it just about the cars. And I think you're trying. The Gus post, the Richard, getting Richard's attention. I like that. I do see a little bit of boat here, there, but a little bit more of some other stuff, like literally the burger you're eating, the hot dog you're eating. The best hot dog in America comes from this New Hampshire stand. Show a couple of other angles, because you're right. You're always one post away from changing the narrative. It's usually not a post that is around your specific niche that everybody else. You know how many pictures of cars are on Instagram posted since you and I and Richard started talking just now?
Yeah, freaking thousands.
Right. So that's number one. Number two, you have to business develop. It's not just about posting. Yeah. You have to DM people. You have to ask them, if you were to DM Richard and it was about like, hey, look at my stuff or follow me or share some of my content, his team is not going to reply. If your answer was, what can we do for you? And his team happens to see it, and they see that you're going to be in New Hampshire too, and maybe that week 2 of the team members got sick from a cold, and they're like, fuck, that person said, what can you do for us? Actually, looking at your stuff, you take some good photos. Can we use you? Hey, can you help us out? We actually are missing a team member or two. Can you take an extra 15 photos for us in New Hampshire when you're going to be there this week? And can you, we could use that. Now all of a sudden, you brought value up front. You did it through DM. You're there. Now it's not just Richard. Now you're not just taking a picture with Richard's car. You're taking a picture with Richard because you brought value first from a point of less leverage. The amount of people that ask me for shit when they have no leverage other than hopes and dreams on preying on my kindness, which, by the way, works once in a while. But what
That's
works?
how I got here.
Yeah, but what works way more often is when you want to provide value up front. So, my man, look for everybody in your space. Think about how you could bring them value, which is time and effort, and mix up the content and explode the quantity of the content as well.
Okay, so I understand what you're saying there. Gus, that you pointed out, I picked him specifically. That's not my dog. That's Dale Jr.'s dog.
Respect. I'm sorry for my NASCAR non-knowledge. I apologize.
Richard knows Dale Jr.
Oh, I do.
He hung up on him. But anyways, long story short, those are great answers. I appreciate that, and I understand what you're saying. And the next question, just quickly to Richard, is trying to get to that next level. Like Richard's so famous now that how does he separate? Like, I'd kill for 5 minutes with Richard or Dennis, and I've talked to Big Chris at Mohegan Sun for a while. How do you get to them and that you're not just a fanboy or a fan guy, that you're a real car guy and you want to get to that next level?
Don't think of it as a next level. Just think of it as walking up a hill. There is no level. You just take care of the people that you meet and treat them right, treat them nice, and do the business that you know to do, and do it fair, and do not cheat. My business is so full of people that cheat and do bad things and bad deals and are just trying to get to what they call the next level. If you just slowly walk up the hill, you're going to be right.
Dennis, do you know the number one? Dennis, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Brother, do you know the number one thing that Richard is having issues with? Time. The number one thing, the number one pain point for Richard in his life is time, right?
Yes.
And so what you're asking for from him is time. People asking me for 5 minutes is way scarier to me than people asking me for $5,000.
Yes.
Right? And so a lot of people don't understand that. And so I'm going to say what I said earlier, which is you asked Richard a question that was completely in the face of me giving you the answer, which is figure out how to bring value. If you, and listen, by the way, if you took a bunch of his photos and mini videos from the internet, gathered them, edited them, and made an awesome 1-minute video and sent it to the team, that's value. But you may not be able to do that. You may not be able to do that. Maybe, you're a car guy, to your point. By the way, I can't do that. But you need to figure out what you can do that brings somebody value. And then I got a real curveball for you. This is the big curveball. You need to figure out what brings Richard value. You need to go and do it. You need to go give it to them. And here's the big one. You can't expect anything to happen. The amount of good things that I do for people, back in the day when I thought it was strategic, now when I'm on the other side of the leverage point just because, and have zero expectation. And I will tell you that I'm disappointed by the way the world gets disappointed 7 out of 10 times. But it doesn't matter. And so that's what you need to do to get to anybody that looks anything remotely to our friend Richard here.
Right. Just keep putting in the work.
No. Keep putting in the work that actually brings value to the person that you're looking to bring value to, and not ask them for the thing that they most can't give you.
Gotcha.
Got it?
All right, guys. I got it.
Thank you, brother. Right?
No, I like your time thing. I mean, I always say, everybody says, give a toast at dinner or whatever. And my toast is always, here's to our time. It's the most valuable thing 100%. We have, and we've chose to spend it together.
We have this forever now. Like when I see, we're in an airport.
Yes.
7 years from now, or we have this.
Yeah, you cannot replace it. It's the most expensive thing in the world, time.
100%. What do you want to leave my audience with? I want a lot of them to get to know you better. They're entrepreneurs and things of that nature. Anything you want to yap about, anything you want them to know about, and you're going to ask the question of the day.
Golly, that's a lot, dude.
It's a lot,
I mean, I could go on for an hour or two.
Is there anything that you really are excited about?
You know what?
Anything you want to be supported on? Anything... where are you at mentally right now with this audience?
The new show's Jamming Garage Rehab. The new one comes out, new Fast and Loud starts in a couple of weeks. That's all the BS of putting myself on television. But at the end of the day, I am having the time of my life, enjoying all of the people and all the things that I meet and what have you. I mean, when I go out and people are stopping me and talking to me and what have you, it's the coolest thing in the world.
I can't get it.
Unbelievable.
I mean, isn't it the craziest feeling?
It is.
It's crazy when we got it good. We lived our whole lives never thinking that was part of the equation.
Correct.
So it's not like you grew up wanting to be a superstar. It's not like you're Taylor Swift or LeBron where it's in your mind that if you achieve your thing, that comes with it.
Yes.
So to have it happen when it was never part of the equation, it's so hard not to be grateful for it.
It is unbelievable. I mean, I stop every time. I mean, actually the people that take me to places, they're always pissed off because I'm like, no, this person is taking, I'm like, it's fine. They're here.
D-Rock shits his pants every time because he's like, we're going to miss the flight. I'm like, fuck the flight, D-Rock.
Yeah.
Rick wants a photo.
We own the jet anyways, right?
Richard, question of the day. You get to ask the question. Any question you want. This is a great time to do a focus group. You get thousands of answers on Facebook.
You didn't tell me I was going to get a question of the day.
Well, that means you're not watching the Ask Gary Vee show, and I'm really upset with you, Richard.
No, I am, but I mean...
Because every guest asks the question of the day.
You're putting me on the spot.
That's right. You can ask favorite beer. I don't give a fuck. Anything you want, man.
Anything?
Anything, yeah.
Holy cow. I've always wondered. Well, no, I can't say that.
This is them answering, not me.
All right. This is what is the question of the day? Today, the question is, what keeps you from following your passion?
That's a good question, my man.
The answer is nothing.
You're not supposed to answer it for them.
I know. I'm just letting them know.
You're just saving us some time.
There's nothing. I mean, you really can.
Thanks, Richard. I really
We dreamed
appreciate
it. We're doing it.
We did it. You keep asking questions, we'll keep answering them.
Yeah, we give the answers.